Let's talk polishing pads. Which one's right for you, which one's a waste of money, and which ones you should buy, and which ones work for me. But let me know down below in the comment section. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Griots Garage, where we make detailing simple. My name is Sak, and today let's talk about polishing pads and which one's right for you, right? So let's start from the most aggressive to the least aggressive. And also, I have pads of all different sizes, from 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, to penetrate, to penetrate the paint, to do the job, to penetrate those scratches. But I have all different sizes. And so let's go ahead and talk about it. And as you can see, it's not just that I bought one. I buy a bunch when I buy pads that I like. But like I said, let's go ahead from most aggressive to least aggressive. And the most one that I have is the Oberk one. I rarely use any type of wool with a rotary. This is for a rotary. And I don't really cut with a rotary, but this is the most aggressive, and I don't do vehicles or project cars that come in after paint booth to go ahead and do any type of crazy heavy defect removal, stuff like that. But this is the most aggressive you'll get, and it's a flexible one. Oberk makes a good wool pad. But other than that, let's go ahead and talk about the most aggressive, which is the microfiber pads. So this one is from Oberk. I really like it, but the thing I don't like about microfiber is they leave their little tick marks behind, because this is super aggressive and it also makes the panel super hot. I like to polish cool. I like to keep my surface cool, because as you can see, or from my videos, I do polish outside. So the cooler the surface is, especially if I'm at direct sunlight, the better it is for me. But that doesn't mean that this does not do the job. It does a phenomenal job, but that's the most aggressive. And then this one is my favorite. If you really want the most aggressive type of cut with an amazing high gloss and finish, the Eurofiber is the way to go. Now, this does have, for your best one steps, it finishes down nicely and it cuts amazingly, and it doesn't leave their crazy tick marks, because they call it the Oreo pad as well, because you can see the white fibers are for the cutting. And then I also have their Eurofiber finishing pad, which is mixed in here to go ahead and give it a nice finish. But there's something I must say that I just don't like with these pads, is they're not beveled, right? When I mean beveled, they don't have this beveled edge or coned edge as you see with the Rupes. So the reason why I don't like this is because of the simple fact that when I get into corners, you may hit the backing plate with that, but it does the job. You just gotta be a little bit more careful. This, you could be a little, I don't wanna say reckless, but you get what I'm saying. It just makes you more efficient in that sense. But yeah, so amazing pad. And like I said, this is the finishing one. So if you want to cut down with this and finish with this on harder paints, they work phenomenal. Microfiber pads are great to be used on hard German paints or hard paint in general, because sometimes even Japanese paints, Hondas, make hard paints. But other than that, let's go ahead and talk about another ones that I like to use. And all of these I've used in my shop and I really enjoy using. Just some I prefer a little bit more, but I'll talk about the ones I prefer the most at the end of the video. And some of them are literally a tie, which I'm just gonna say it here. These are a tie for me. So the Rupes Course, I love using this, especially if you're using Rupes Uno Protect, using Oberk Soul, you're using a Drive Auto Appearance, AOI polish. These are phenomenal. It cuts amazing and it leaves a high gloss shine. And these are the D8 Course wool pads. And the reason why I love these a lot is it cuts cool and it keeps the panel cool, which is amazing for this. The other thing I do enjoy the most, which you guys see all the time, is the DIY Detail wool pad. So this cuts amazingly and leaves a higher gloss finish than this, but this works amazingly on a lot of harder paints, and this finishes down on all types of paints. So that's about it, but this will give you a little bit more defect removal than this, but we're talking about hairs here and it's not really much. So these two, I put it in as a tie. But the one thing I must say is the DIY pads do last a lot longer than these. The only reason why I don't like these is because the microfiber tends to peel open a lot very easily over here, because Lake Country makes better pads than, you know, root pads. But yeah, so let's talk about that. Then my second one, I used to use this a lot. I don't really use it a lot anymore, but is the Rupes medium wool finishing pads. And these are amazing. It's like a little sheep type of wool, but it's the medium finish. If you're gonna go for softer paints and do a one step and you really wanna get a lot of heavy defect removal, you could use this or you could use this. This will cut down a little bit more, but cut cooler, but this will finish down nicer in my opinion. But the Eurofiber, these go hand in hand as well, but you can go ahead and choose. And like I said, all of these actually do the job very well. Now, let's talk about my least favorites here. Or you know what? We'll talk about, we'll move on ahead to here. So now let's talk about foam pads. And since we're on the foam, these are the aggressive foam pads. These are the coarse wool pads from Buff and Shine, and also Rupes do have their coarse. I don't really enjoy hard, you know, these hard foam pads for correction. If you're really gonna do any type of defect removal, just either go with Eurofiber, a microfiber pad, or a wool pad. Don't use these hard foams. I've used a bunch of pads. I've even bought the Lake Country CCS pads. They're not bad, I just don't like them, but the hard yellow ones, I don't prefer that one. And I even bought every single color, green, white, black, red. I literally bought every single color. And over time, I threw those out. They really wasn't my favorites to begin with. But yeah, so for me, just avoid these hard, coarse foam pads. I don't really like them. Next, this one's from the Rag Company. These are the 3-inch waffle pads, which they work good, but they're not beveled like these, like the Buff and Shine ones. I like these Buff and Shine ones, or the DIY Detail 3-inch pads that they make, they're beveled, or even the McKee's 37, that's also beveled. So these are the foam pads. This is the McKee's 37 orange pad. It's a little bit softer than this Buff and Shine one, but it does the job very well. Then you got these special types of foam, which is, they call it the spider pad from 3D. It works amazingly well. Have nothing bad to say about these, but they're just so hard to find online that I don't even buy them anymore. But they have these little slits, and those extra slits help with extra defect removal if needed. And it really, think of it like a little rinseless wash, right? Like it just puts all the contamination inside there, but you also have polish residue that comes out just to keep the pad cool. It's an amazing concept, and they work very well. But those are the 3D pads. But yep, so once I talk about the hard and then the different types of pads that you have the beveled, regular, and then I got the 3-inch Eurofiber. I also have the 2-inch Eurofiber pads. And as you can see, I have the Rupes. Oh, these are the Rupes ones right here. These Rupes coarse, this one, and these are the crazy aggressive knitted wool pads from Griots Garage. I even use Griots Garage pads as well. But next, let's talk about one-step pads. These all work amazing if you're gonna do a one-step. You got the maroon pad, which is a little bit on the aggressive side. Yeah, I'll put it like in the same category as a wool pad because it is a lot coarser, but it softens up the minute heat is generated. And this is the Buff and Shine Reflection Artist pads. These work amazingly well if you're doing from medium to a little bit of heavy defect removal, depending on what type of paint type you have, but they work amazingly well. And the ones that you guys know I've been using a whole bunch is the DIY Detail waffle pad, the gold standard. And as you can see, this is a lot more like softer. So I love these a little bit more, and they finish down a lot better than this. So these are really considered more of like one-step pads. This is just more on a harder type of paint. If you have a German paint, which I've used this before, works amazingly well on like Volkswagen, Audi, BMWs, where I did a one-step and I've used this pad. They finish down very nice and does some good, has great correction capabilities with leaving a nice shine and gloss. And then, like I said, DIY Detail, I know introduction for those that I've been using a while. Next is the Rupes waffle. I bought these. I don't like these. They're just not the same quality. These are just too soft. They tried to bring this back, and I just didn't enjoy the use of it. It's like very soft and it rolls over too much. Not my favorite pad, so this I'm just gonna put to the side, but it does the job, but I'd rather just go with the DIY Detail waffle pad for that one. Next up is the Rupes. This is a staple in the industry. This actually does the job, and as you can see, this is a lot stiffer, and I love the beveled edge on this one. It's just so much better. This finishes off, this is way better than this pad. But again, this was made for the rotary, but this is for the DA. Just works amazing. It's just a staple in the industry. It works nice. It does the job. It's very good for one steps, and I'm pretty sure there's no introduction for these. The next one is the 3D regular purple pad. This is their medium. This is great for one steps, and you see the 3D logo. It doesn't have the slits like the other one. Only the smaller 3-inch pads have those, but these work great. I have a whole bunch, and talking about a whole bunch of pads, I got a duffel full of pads in here, but I don't want to talk through all of them because I don't want to bore you guys. But yeah, so other than that, let's go ahead and move on. Great for one steps. This is what they call the blueberry pad, P&S, or the reflection artist. This works. This is the one step for softer paints, and it just works just phenomenal. It's a little bit stiffer than the maroon pad, as you can see. Let me bring you guys in. So you see like how much coarse the maroon pads looks, and I've used all these pads. This is why they kind of look like this. But yeah, you see how much softer and less coarse. You can see the pores. So this finishes down a lot nicer than the maroon pad, but like I said, the maroon pad is more for a cutting part, so I should have just left this on this side. But yeah, another one, another great foam pad if you really want to use it, that I really enjoy. This one's another one-step waffle pad. This is the McKee's 37 Cool Wave pads, which is awesome. These work phenomenal. They have a lower profile, so you can cut a little bit more because more heat is generated a little bit more, and it also cuts a little bit cooler because it has a thinner profile. It's just a great overall pad. I really enjoy these pads, nothing bad to say. It's just that it's very difficult to buy for me, and when I mean buy, it's just when I buy it off McKee's, I really gotta, wait seven days for it to come here because it's coming from Florida and it's ground shipping. But I have a whole bunch of these pads as well. Amazing pad. Next one is the Oberk medium pad. So they to me feel the same Rupes, but finishes down amazingly well. Nothing bad to say about these pads. Like I said, everything just does the job. Just certain pads I prefer more than others because, like I said, I like a cooler surface. This is the Rupes. I've used this once or twice. This is their finishing pad. As you can see, it's slightly yellow because I've used them. But it does the job. It finishes down nicely, especially if you use Rupes Uno Pure. It really works really well with that. Next is the McKee's 37 Cool Wave. I got the black one as well, finishing that I've used as well. So if you want a little bit more cut on, say, a softer type of paint with a better finish, this is going to do the job. I've used this on a Mustang Mach-E, and it finished down very well because that paint was very annoying, that Ford paint to work with to finish down. And this is what actually got the job done. This paired with the Rupes Uno Pure, fire. But the next one is, this is the Griots Garage finishing pad. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of pads. Does the job well, nothing bad to say. It's just a flat pad. That's about it. This is the Oberk red pad. If you guys saw me do this on the Kia Stinger, where I restored the plastic black aftermarket trim, I've used the 3-step system. This finished down great. Next up is the Rag Company's waffle finishing pad. Works well. It's just a bit too soft for me. I don't really like it too much, so I really prefer this one, and especially that their foam interface from the Rad company, it just, the Velcro, it just sucks. I'm sorry, sorry the Rad company, but just look at this Velcro right here. It just doesn't, it's not made with quality. This one is just so much better. I just don't like it. Especially if you're pairing it up with a pad washer, it's just gonna fling off. It doesn't stick well. But yep, but it still does the job. But overall, not my favorite, so I'm gonna put that over there. Then, of course, the DIY Detail waffle pad, the red finishing pad. It's my favorite. It has the perfect consistency. It actually sticks. It's a little bit thicker. It's between, as you can see, this is too much of a high profile. This one's a thinner one than the Rad company. And this one's too thin. So from the McKees 37, so this is the perfect size, and it's my favorite finishing pad at the moment. And then also, I have this blue finishing waffle pad as well. This is like the old school Optimum ones. It's still finished down nice. It works amazing. It's still super soft foam, but yeah. So let's talk about my favorite ones and which ones I really enjoy using. So I'm gonna put these to the side. So let's go to the ones you know what? Instead of talking about my favorites, let's go ahead and talk about the ones I dislike. That way it's a lot easier. You guys could go ahead and see which ones I do like. But let's go ahead and talk about the ones I dislike. So I dislike the Rad companies. This one, even their 5-inch orange waffle pad, don't like it. The Velcro sucks. For the 3-inch, they work great, but not for the 5-inch. Rupes rotary, I don't like. This is okay, it does the job, but it's not really my favorite. I'm gonna put that to the side. Microfiber pads that I don't like. I really don't like the Eurofiber finishing pad. It does work well. I thought I was gonna be able to finish a lot nicer, but I just prefer just to stick with this. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of these 3-inch, literally never used, never touched. Look at the backing plate, the Velcro. I've never seen the need to use these, so put that's a waste of money. Then, of course, you already got the 3-inch waffle pad that I use from the Rad company that I like. I don't like these hard, coarse foam pads that are made for cutting. It's not my favorite. Put these over here. And also, yeah, that's about it. Everything else does the job. I'm not gonna say they're my favorites, but but these are the ones I truly don't like. Stuff like these. The Lake Country CCS pads, I didn't like. I don't like them. I tried the HDO pads. HDO pads are really good, but they broke on me, and then that was it. I don't like the Rupes, like I said, the hard 1-inch pads, not my favorite. But let's talk about the stuff that I do like, which is my favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my favorites. So I love the 5-inch from DIY Detail, the 3D purple pad, even their 3-inch, they're just so hard to find. This is why I don't talk about these pads a lot. They're so hard to find. Got the wool pad, DIY Detail finishing pad. The maroon pad from Buff and Shine is actually really good for harder paints if you're gonna do a 1-step. Obviously, can't forget the Eurofiber, but like I said, the one that I don't like about it is not beveled. And Rupes coarse pads. And last but not least, what I really enjoy are the McKees 37 Cool Wave waffle pads. So these are like my go-to / favorites that I use a lot. And yeah, that's about it. So hopefully you guys found this informative. Hopefully I help you guys save your choice on what pads to go ahead and use. But typically if you have a system, you could just stick with that system. This is just trial and error for me and what I really enjoy using. I really like to cut on a cool touch. So as you can see, most of my preferred ones are types of like either waffle pad, have some type of slit, cooling, not too thin profile, and has a beveled edge. But all in all, it's just what I prefer. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and this is just a rarity that I like. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content. Let me know down below in the comment section which polishing pads you guys like. I've even tried the Chemical Guys Hexlogic Pads. We're not my go-to, but yeah, so let me know down below which ones you guys use and which ones you guys think, and if any of these are actually on your list. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.